Okay, so let's investigate the trig ratios when the angle is between 180 degrees to 270 degrees, quadrant 3 angle. So what happens if my terminal arm moves to quadrant 3? So let's see. So when my terminal arm moves to quadrant 3, the point here, all the x and y are negative values, right? So we have negative x and negative y value. So what does this information affect my trig ratios on the right? So let's see. So originally we have sine theta equals to y over r. But in this case, the y is negative, right? So I need to capture y is negative and also the radius is positive. So that's why my sine theta is negative when the angle here is in quadrant 3. So what about cosine theta? So cosine theta, originally we have x over r. So x in quadrant 3 is negative. So that's why we need to put the negative here as well. So cosine theta, when angle is between this range, right, cosine theta is negative as well. So what about tangent theta? So tangent theta in quadrant 3, we have negative y divided by negative x. Negative y divided by negative x, in general, it gives you the positive tangent ratio. So that's why tangent theta is positive when the angle is between 180 to 270 degrees. So this sums up the trig ratios in quadrant 3. Okay, so finally, let's go over trig ratios when the angle is in quadrant 4. So what happens if I move the terminal arm into quadrant 4 position? So what do we know about the coordinate in quadrant 4? So coordinate in quadrant 4, x is positive and y is negative. So that's why I need to pay attention. So how this value affect my trig ratios on the right? So let's see. So sine theta, originally we have y over r. But in this case, so y is negative. So that's why I got negative y over r. So always remember r, the radius, remain positive in this case. So this line is the radius, right? So cosine theta, we have x over r. So in this case, x is positive in quadrant 4, and r is positive in quadrant 4. So that's why cosine theta is positive in quadrant 4 angles. So what about tangent theta? So tangent theta y is negative, x is positive. So that's why the trig ratios is negative for quadrant 4 angles. So for quadrant 4 angle, only positive one is cosine theta, sine theta, and tangent theta. They are all negative values. Okay, so in the last video, in the last portion, I briefly talked about the reference angle. So basically, what's the definition of reference angle? So reference angle is the angle lies between the terminal arm to the closest x-axis. So in this case, the closest x-axis is my negative x-axis. So this green angle is my reference angle. So at this stage, we just figure out the reference angle in quadrant 2, but not in quadrant 3 and quadrant 4. So what do you think the reference angle in quadrant 3? So I'll give you some time to think about, and you can pause the video to think about this question. Okay, so actually the reference angle for quadrant 3 is this one. So this one is my reference angle in quadrant 3. So this reference angle lies between the terminal arm and its closest x-axis. So it's negative x-axis. So and it forms the triangle here. So this one is my right triangle for the trig ratios here. So we use this right triangle to compute the trig ratios on the right. So what about quadrant 4? So it lies between terminal arm to the closest x-axis, right? So this one is my reference angle. And we use this right triangle here to compute this trig ratios here. Okay, so I hope this video makes sense to you guys, and good luck on your studies.